Hello, people. So, this is Aditya Anand, and today we'll be talking about the basics of Python. So, the first question that comes in mind is why Python? The reason is Python is quite simple as compared to other languages like C, C++, or Java. Python is quite simple. For example, if you want to write a sorting algorithm in C, then it will first of all it will take the sorting concept. You need to have the sorting concept, and then you need to write almost 5 to 10 lines of codes or even more. But in Python, you just need to write a single keyword, say like a sort, and then you need to pass whatever you want to sort, and it is sorted. So this makes Python quite easy, and because of such ease, it can implement difficult programs with uh, with no difficulty at all. So that is why it has a lot of application in the field of research work, right from research work to web development, including all the data science works. And Python is growing. Python is used in almost everything nowadays. So let's get started with Python. So first, just like any other programming language, Python also needs to have a IDE. IDE that includes the text editor and uh, the compiler. So first of all, open your Google Chrome and search for Anaconda Navigator. Download. Once you are here, click on the individual edition. Now, if you by any chance, if you ended up being at this page and you are not in the individual section, then go here, go to products, and then click on the individual edition. You will be here. So uh, now scroll down and go find the install Anaconda, or you can directly scroll down to here, Anaconda installers. Now, depending upon your operating system, choose whatever you feel like depending upon your operating system, and download it first of all. See, download this right now. Pause the video and download it, because it will take a long time to download, and then install it. To install, you don't need to do anything. I have already downloaded and installed, so I won't be clicking there. So to install, you don't need to do anything. Just click next, next, next everywhere, and if they ask for some kind of settings, just press the recommended settings and it will work fine. Don't set any path, just go with the recommended settings. Yes. So pause the video here and play once you are done. So I hope now you are done. So for the first run it will automatically run, but if not, then you can always search here Anaconda Navigator and click on run. It takes some time to open up. So this will basically be just a overview of how Python is different from other languages and what we need to actually learn for the basics, just the basics of Python. For those who already know the basics and they're waiting for the uh, some applications of Python, you need to have some patience and wait for some time. I'll just cover up these basics in a few days, and then we'll move on to the application section. So here it is. What we will be working with, there are many other things. You can use Anaconda Navigator, or you can simply install Python, or there are many other ways. So this is the most preferred way, as you don't need to install anything here. Everything is integrated with it. You'll see how this is much more beneficial. So the first thing is Jupyter Notebook, where we can write the Python code, Jupyter Notebook. And the second thing is Spider. So Jupyter Notebook is much interactive, and Spider is simply a Python editor kind of thing. So let's get started with Jupyter Notebook. First, I'll show you both how to use both in further videos. Let's now today get started with Jupyter Notebook. So click on launch. Once you have launched, you will see something like this. It is now it is your Jupyter tab on Google Chrome or maybe any other browser. Now click on the new button and go to Python 3. This is your new notebook now. Here you can write all your Python code. So it's better if you rename your new notebook. How to rename? Just click on this untitled field and write anything you want, like say trial or maybe anything. So just rename it and see. We can use even we can write any Python codes here, like print hello, and let us run this. See. So we can write any Python codes here that we will be going with from the next video on writing Python codes. And Python can also be used as calculator. Suppose say like 5 plus 2 7. So we can use it as a calculator as well. First, let us see uh, what are these fields, and let's learn about this terminal first of all. You can create a new Python notebook from here. You can save it as something else. You can rename it, which can be easily done from here as well. And you can see the print preview. This much will be printed. And also you can download it as a Python file or anything. The Python file that there are, see, this file is actually the IPYNB file. IPYNB file. It stands for interactive Python notebook, and the py simply stands for Python file. So Spider works with py files and Jupyter works with IPYNB file. So this file that you're writing in right now is an IPYNB file. You can convert it to py and run using uh, Spider. We'll see it how we can do it. So you can these are some of the operations, like this cell you want to move up, then move cell up, it's up. You can move down, move cell down, and that's it. You can split the cell, you can delete the cell, and you can directly use these commands as well. Move up, move down. Now to run, you can use this, but this is not a Python code, so it is throwing up errors. Now this Jupyter runs on a kernel. Now the backend of this Jupyter is a kernel. The kernel runs as soon as you run the new Jupyter file. So you can stop the kernel from here. See, interrupting kernel, and the kernel has been interrupted. Now you can restart the kernel, restart. Now once you interrupt a kernel, all the variables that you are using with Python will be lost. Suppose for example, if you write a is equal to 5 and run it, so the value 5 is stored in a. Now if you want to see the value of a, see, you are getting here 5, right? But once you have interrupted the kernel, let's say we have interrupted the kernel, then if we run the same code again, wait a second, the kernel has not been interrupted, I guess. Kernel shutdown. We need to shut down the kernel, not just interrupt. Interrupting a kernel just means that you stop the execution of a single single cell. But stopping the kernel, see, once you have shut down the kernel, there is no kernel and you will not be able to see this. You need to restart your kernel. So let us restart the kernel. So this was if you want to run all the cells, you can press on run all, and you can select a cell here and you can run the cells below or above it. So these are some of the options. You can insert cell above it, insert an empty cell above it, right? Or you can insert empty cell below it. So these see why we are using Jupyter Notebook is we can see output at each step, which is not possible in the Spider. In Spider, what we do is we write a code. Let's say, let me show you. So as you can see, this is a Python code, and we cannot see the output at each step. If I have to run, I have to run this whole file at once. But if I was using it with Spider, I can use this thing separately. Then I can write this thing separately, and I can call these functions and see some values separately. So if we run this, see, we are getting some plots. We are getting some plots. So that this is how Spider is used, and that is how our, here it is, Jupyter is used. Jupyter is always in a browser, so don't keep searching below. Just open your browser and you'll find your Jupyter. So that was enough for today. We'll start with the codes tomorrow. Thank you. So if you like the video, like, subscribe, and keep supporting, guys.